Hello everybody, welcome to Monday's MCN. There's a few topics to go over, nothing super spicy, but definitely some interesting points to look out for today, and as well things that have happened over the weekend and going into next week. We begin the show on parrying your striker, or ability to strike out of that animation, or be able to spank you as a result of after that and not getting stunned. There are a few reports of last week of this, and I know that Kabam Crash said that he was looking to see if there was a video. The further update is that this has been reported back to the team, and hopefully it's something that can be investigated. There was a thread that was devoted to issues that players had experienced with Magrel, Othos, definitely kind of like pointing out a lot of things that don't seem to be kind of working correctly with any kind of like interaction. I've had whiffing based attacks as well. I don't think it's necessarily connected, but it's very strange that a lot of these kind of issues still are in the game or kind of coming into being there. There's definitely, like people have said, like, here's a good example. I don't know the video, but similar interaction with Zola. Striker activated at 20 ESP charges and was stunned out of it. Very unusual, like a very unusual bug. Don't know if it's widespread. Don't know if it's a specific type of relic. Probably not, but we just don't know that. There's always kind of the burden of proof and fact finding when it comes to information around this. Have you experienced it? Let Kabam know. Hopefully this is not a widespread bug and definitely something Kabam are actively investigating. We'll see if it enters onto the Trello board this week or next. A bit of an update on the featured hero crystals. The pity system is in full swing at the moment. If you go into game, you can definitely see that being mentioned. Kabam have said with the update of the Grandmaster's Grace crystal system, the pity system, starting with Nico Minoru, featured crystals will not feature a sub-featured champion throughout the Fantastic Four Saga. So you'll know exactly who you're chasing after as you open the crystals. The drop rates that made up the sub-featured champion has been moved to the base 7-star pool in the featured crystal for now. We're going to be reconvening toward the latter end of the saga after we see how the new system is performing. So I guess there's some good news in this one. I'm taking it as that. I don't open up these crystals, so if you are opening up these crystals and you're noticing this is a painful thing, of course let me know, but also let Kabam know as well. It's definitely interesting for Kabam to say the drop rate that made up the sub-feature champion has now been moved to the base 7-star pool in the featured crystal. This hopefully then will open up more opportunity to actually pull a 7-star versus say what is not. I don't know how that would theoretically work, but maybe it does. Maybe it improves things. Maybe this is a happy change, but I would largely go with, well, yeah, I suppose it takes away from getting what will be the one below, which, yeah, it's a change, I guess. Rejoice everybody, later on we're going to be covering this, the Webstore market loyalty. A brand new currency is coming to the game. It is called Webstore currency, and well, I don't know if it's actually called Webstore currency or loyalty. Market loyalty is a currency. This will be a special store. I've been very kind of like around this, not sure about it. I don't know what the currency, if the currency is about the, say, the more you spend or kind of like how far you go, then the theory around it would be that you could, as a non-spending player, and I can't speak properly, bearing in mind that you do have on a free weekly basis daily free market points. Will those market points translate to be a currency? Because if the theory is true, then free-to-play players could actually pick up over a length of time the currency and exchange it back, get some free stuff. In theory. We'll find out later on when it goes live. You might as well be like, well, Rich, it says the June 9th. Well, there was a bit of a delay with this. If anybody didn't see the MCN towards middle of point last week, we covered this, which was that this was rescheduled to a 16th of June situation of release. So we'll have a look later on today and see if that is actually going to be beneficial for free to play, what it's going to be like for those that spend. Are there any further implications, and are you really interested in some of the stuff that's on offer to trade in? And now we're in the crazy world of live streaming. Yes, Kabam have been live streaming the PC version. It's been cool to see. I haven't been able to watch all of these streams, and I feel I should have done because there would have been some information from topics and discussions. One thing that I have been really excited to see is Dave playing with and Mike playing with either a controller or the fight stick. The fight stick you can actually see in this particular live stream. If I just bring this right up there, you can see Dave is actually playing around with the fight stick. Let's zoom it in, people. There we go. You can see him then playing away with the fight stick. This is something that I do want to get and play with the PC version, mainly because it is more interesting and kind of takes me back to the old days of playing playing in an arcade. That's kind of the shout out back to that. And also, and as I've said in some content, like it's very much reminds me of like what, well, not reminds me, but gives me inspiration. I'd want to play like this going into something like Marvel token fighting Sogs, which is going to be released next year on PS5 and on PC. So there's some really big excitement around that. It just depends on how responsive, and even then, like Dave actually kind of like moved with the stick, it wasn't as responsive. So that's something I want to see like in the future, how responsive this is. But it is a learning curve. It is a big learning curve, and how someone would do a block, that again is a big element. But one of the questions that I've definitely seen is that why have there been no drops? Why have there been no kind of like interaction with this stuff? Whether or not it's a rewards budget, I don't think that is the case. I don't know as well like how many new players are coming to MCC during Steam Fest. It's all Steam Next or whatever it's called. There's always this big drive to get developers to stream the game so people can see and therefore get involved with it to then pick up the game. We haven't had an update in the totals of wish lists. Last time it was at 50k, which isn't too bad for a game that's 10 years old. And at the same time, like, are these going to be very much new players to the game? That could be quite exciting to grow the community of it, but we won't really know that until the game is actually launched on Steam. So on the question of why are there no drops, because I know some people want to see some drops from the stream, well, Kabam Pinwheel gives us some indication. I believe drops will be off for this one, but we will have giveaways again and then something a bit more special for the stream on Monday. Right, the Monday that they're referring to is the 16th. So maybe I'll find myself watching that stream and doing a reaction, and I'll be watching it more intently because maybe there's something special for it. My feeling around this is that Kabam might just say, it's live now, go play it, or there'll be something specifically for that, or they'll announce 100k, we'll have to see. Also, Kabam Pinwheel says, just to expand on this, drops are our long-term goal and we're working on it. Just want to avoid some of the implementation issues from the past streams, so holding off for now. And definitely with the extent of the selector situation, which we covered at the weekend and last week, and the things that haven't gone right when it comes to drops actually getting to people's accounts, you can definitely see why Kabam might be hesitant to actually do it. But we hope that things with the 16th of June go well, and future live streams as well. The next Kabam live stream, what is it going to drop on? I'd say the 27th of June, but it could be the 4th of July, which I don't know, maybe not. We'll have to see what Kabam are doing with that. Seeing as the last live stream, what was it on the like 30th of May. So yeah, we'll see what happens with the live streams, and also drops as well. But do you want to see them more regularly? But next up, I want to give a massive shout out to Steel22. Link is in the description to Steel22's YouTube channel. What he did was he played Marvel Contest of Champions on a steering wheel and of course pedals. That is incredible. This is really, really incredible. You see, everything is mapped together so we can actually play on this. How it's done, you can see there, he's moving the steering wheel to kind of go back and forth. This is fun. Of course, it's definitely a learning curve to kind of make sure that you get that right, and you got to like turn really quickly. You got to have like rally level kind of like playing with this. But this was really, really entertaining to see. Please, of course, go and give Steel22 some love, and obviously go and check out the video which I put in the description, and a link to his channel as well. But yeah, like this was just incredible to see. Like you could probably use your foot pedals, and of course trying to map it. One big thing that I would stress to anybody that is getting like a device or anything for the game is make sure to have like a response time. A lot of new devices that I've got, or new things that I've been got to upgrade like the channel with, and of course my setup, I'm looking at like quick response and low latency time between the point of an input being put into what actually the PC reads, and that's like a top tip to anybody looking at new devices. Still fully explains like how things are done, how things are programmed in when it comes to the steering wheel. Go and check it out. It is really interesting video to go and see. But also, I forgot to add, like, if you've seen, like, anything like someone playing on the bongos or, I don't know, sort of like a Switch controller or whatever, then let me know. Like, it's interesting to see how the game can be played in different things. You know, Dance Dance Revolution, Mat, and all that. The final story we're going to be covering is, of course, the Radiance. Not a huge amount of coverage for this because a lot of people have fallen out as what they think is an acceptable compensation package for those that were unfairly banned. Of course, we need to draw a line in the sand with this and I think move on. I think even for those that have been banned, they want to move on from it. Their loss of their time, and I guess in some cases, some of the things that they might have bought, like Battle Pass based stuff, at lack of a chance and time to access certain things, being kicked out of alliances. There's a lot of things that have gone on for those that have just got back into the game after their 7-day ban, or unfairly banned in a shorter time period of like 4 days to 5 days. Either way, what everyone's thoughts on this, it does differ. Some people think it's fair. Some people think that it's unfair of what they actually got. I did read something in. I was kind of like, it's not funny, but it's kind of like it's just when you got this analogy of like, pretend you're eating at a fancy restaurant, minding your own business, and the owner falsely accuses you of something, calls the cops, and they come and handcuff you in front of everyone and throw you in jail. And when you realize it's a mistake and tries to make amends, it's not just compensating you for that dinner, he's also going its way to beyond like every sane owner would. It actually reminded me of this particular incident, and RIP to Charles Dozer.
Why did you do this to me? Pop in the car. It's cups. For what reason? What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal?
But what are your thoughts on that particular compensation package? Do you think it was enough? Do you think it was fine? Are you outraged that they got Radiance? Like, what are your thoughts? Like, I mean, for me, I'm fine with it. I move on with what I'm doing in game. I'm sure a lot of other people would as well. But of course, your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you all later on for some coverage around this new loyalty currency, and maybe find out what that live stream's meant to be all about. The spicy live stream, Kabam Pinwell says. Ooh.